Hey, welcome to Jack Fleming Artistry. I am in Houston. I got a tow truck behind me I'm going to be working on, and let me tell you guys a little bit about that. I've been getting a few jobs like this lately. This guy's dad was a tow truck driver. They used to have painted trucks back in the day. Loves the painted look. He's wanting to go to paint on this one. They put these stickers on there just to have something on it for right now, but as you can see, they've only been on here about a month, and we've already got issues with peeling and stuff. And I know it comes down to quality of materials. I've already got paper on this side. I'm gonna just trace what's there since it all has to stay the same. He was telling me here that the city kind of regulates what sizes things need to be in all, so we're just gonna keep them the same sizes. So I'll trace that, peel the vinyl, and then come back and we'll do paint. I gotta show you guys this real quick too. He said this used to be a sign shop, and back here's where they kept all the paint. It looks like they might have had the easel. You see the splatters, but then you can see on the wall. That's pretty cool. So nothing super special on materials here. I'm using a roll of tracing paper I got off of Amazon and a number 2 pencil. For scraping the vinyl, I'm using a plastic razor blade I got from Coast Airbrush. Yeah, this vinyl right here peels so much easier than that other vinyl did. The other stuff was really stretchy. What was on the bottom? The blue stuff was not. The blue stuff was the same stuff. Way faster. Alright, it may be hard to hear because they're running stuff outside and I didn't grab my speakers or my microphone, but I cleaned that with just glass cleaner to get the dirt off. Now I'm using wax and grease remover. Usually takes the adhesive off. I could use adhesive remover, but I can carry one product on the van instead of carrying 2, and that's more room. So I'm just gonna work on that. Right here's where I'm about to run into a problem. I'm transferring like I normally do with Surall paper. Put it underneath the paper that your drawing's on, trace it all off, and go about your business. You'll be able to pull this off and see your drawing. Do it on a lot of the vehicles I do. If I'm not doing a pounce pattern, I'm doing a Surall transfer, usually. Other times I'm just drawing it directly on the surface. Show you this real quick. I use Surall paper to transfer this, and this is on paint that they did. Transfers like normal. Now I can see what I'm going to paint. So they painted the bed here, but the truck itself is factory paint, and this is where I transferred using Surall paper onto that. You cannot see it, especially now that we've got shop lights on at night. It was hard enough to see during the day. I don't know if the camera will pick up on it at all, but I could barely faintly see some of the blue. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So I come over here to my van and using an 8B pencil, I'm going over all those lines. This is turned around backwards. So this is on the back. I know people have used chalk. I find that chalk doesn't show up very well if Surall paper is not going to show up. I've used an ebony pencil before. That works pretty good. This 8B works really good because it's a soft lead drawing pencil. You know, your standard yellow pencils are what's called an HB. Anything darker than an HB is going to be a B. So 2B, 3B, 4B. On the other side of that, lighter pencils, harder lead, is H, 2H, 4H, 6H. So I got to go over all of this and then retrace all of the stuff that didn't transfer or that I could see during the daylight and can't see now with shop lights. Pretty pearl on the truck, but it's just part of what we got to work with if we want to paint tonight. Trying to get finished by tomorrow. I got a show to be to on Saturday. I live like 5 hours from here, so there's no going home and using the electro pounce. Just figure out ways to work around stuff to make it work. Show you really quick, this is where I've already done that, and you can see it. So the pencil transfers darker than the Surall paper does. Surall paper's a lot easier. Takes a whole lot less time. It's a time saver, but this is saving me from driving all the way home and back. So I didn't originally schedule time for peeling vinyl on this job, and I didn't originally schedule time for having to go back and retransfer all this stuff in a different way. So with that eating into time, kind of burning the candle at all ends here, working pretty much through the night, but getting it done. When you do these jobs on the road and stuff, at least for me, that's kind of how it goes sometimes, because I have other things scheduled. So I just have to push through in order to be able to get to the next job and not push it back. A couple quick notes on materials and stuff here. I'm using Tilly Quill brush from Mac Brush Company. I'm using one-shot lettering enamel. I have some hardener that's put into it so that it will stick a little bit harder. As we carry on, these letters right here are going to get a chrome border to them, so we have a lot more to do. This job turned out to be full of challenges, and I think this one was my least favorite challenge of all on this job. But it's kind of cool to be able to overcome something like this. So I don't know that there's any one set way to work around these body lines and stuff. Talked to the customer about trying to move text and stuff so that it wouldn't be over the body lines, but sounded like that's where it needed to be, so I went ahead and went with it, accepted that challenge, and tried to figure it out. It made coming to these nice flat panels a reward for, accomplishing those other parts. So get the really hard stuff done and then reward yourself with something that's nice and easy. On some of these longer jobs like this, that's one of the strategies, I guess, that I have for myself is I kind of gamify the job, find ways to reward yourself for doing parts that aren't as rewarding. Maybe give yourself time challenges at certain times, just different things to make it a little bit more fun. I also find that I psych myself up sometimes, knowing that there's some fun steps to come. In this case, I've got pinstriping coming up, chrome borders around these letters and stuff. I really enjoy doing those parts. So if I can go ahead and get through this part, then I get to work on the fun parts. So keeping my mind in that also helps these long jobs to go pretty fast. Tend to get sucked away in the work and not realize the hours they're being put in something. Which is one of the reasons that I forgot to take video footage of a lot of the pinstriping on this job, but it's got quite a bit on it. Guess I kind of got carried away in the work there and focused on trying to get done. So let's talk about the chrome borders that are going to happen on all these letters here. It's kind of funny. It's actually how I got this job. The customer watching my YouTube channel didn't know how to get in contact with me, but loved the chrome borders and stuff. Wanted that on this truck. Said he actually went through and watched a ton of videos trying to find any way to find my phone number and found my booth in one of the videos, paused it, and zoomed in and found the phone number off my banner to contact me. So I plan to start putting something in the description to tell you guys how to get in contact with me for work. Back to the chrome borders, that first step is outlining everything with gray. The second step on it is coming through and creating a little shadow so that it looks like that gray part is raised up above the blue that's in the background there. It's all about creating an illusion of depth and an illusion of reflection. A little side note, I like to keep my light source at the front of the truck, so my shadows are going to be to the left on the letters on one side of the truck and to the right on the letters on the other side of the truck. Then we're going to build up reflections. I'm building up shadow reflections, and I'm building up highlight reflections. So here we're constantly thinking, if light is coming from the front of the truck, then what is it going to reflect off of? What does it bounce off of when it hits the letter? That same principle is going to apply whenever I do drop shadows. If light's hitting from the front of the truck, what side of the letter is the drop shadow going to be cast on? Well, this job's actually done. Let's go ahead and clean up, and then we'll take a look at it. I know this is a little bit of a shorter video this time, but a lot of that's because I was really trying to get this job done, so I didn't film as much as I really wanted to. Wasn't able to cover every last aspect of the job here, but really nose to the grindstone on getting it done in order to try and get back home on this one. If you've watched this long, definitely thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like this content and you want to see more of it. Hit that like button, and we will see you guys next time. Happy New Year.